Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles, and we are here with my guy, Mr. Jonathan George, coming to us from LA. Oh, man, I'm so excited to have him on. CEO, speaker, coach, CEO of JG Entertainment, has an amazing rock star movement.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Human hit maker, has worked with, so many people producing so many big hits. And I'm so thankful to have him on this episode of the Success Chronicle. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Chip. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Well, let's dive into it. If you don't mind, talk to us about, where you're from and how it was for you growing up, and track your amazing story to now.
Well, let me just, if you don't mind, I'm going to start like what I've been doing for the past 20 years is I've been creating like some of the biggest young rock stars in the entertainment industry. And when I say rock stars, I mean, they're people who are true triple threats. They're the kids you've seen on every Disney, Nickelodeon, to the movies, to hear on the radio. I can't turn on the anything on without seeing my artists and talent that I've worked with for over the 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am now, and of course, been building rockstar brands for top entrepreneurs, as well as working with influencers on social media. And now I am helping people go from ordinary to rockstar status in their life. And so I started this journey in 2000. I had moved to Los Angeles. So for the past 20 years, I've been doing this, and going back and realizing actually why I was doing all of this. And this just kind of transpired this last year, because I had to understand people were going, why are you so passionate about this? Why have you been so passionate about making people be superstars in everything that they do and to reach greatness? And I was like, because I'm good at it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, and so I really had to go back and remember my journey to get to this point. And in 2000, I'd moved to Los Angeles. I'm from Dallas, Texas. My dad's a Pentecostal pastor. I was raised in music my entire life. My family, they call us the white whinings, because everybody can sing, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's phenomenal.
Hey, hold on. Wait a minute. You said sing. That's different than sing, right?
Yeah, that's you sang. Like, when you sang your face off, you know what I mean? Like, they can just full on. My grandma's like was like Mahalia Jackson, had 4 albums, gospel albums, and just very powerful human beings, right? And so I moved to Los Angeles after I graduated college, and I was going after my music dreams, and I ended up on a show called Next Big Star, which was Ed McMahon's big show. It's like American Idol, Star Search back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I was the grand champion winner on that show. And so I had a record deal on the table. Life seemed like, it was at the pinnacle. I was like, this is everything. Back in the day, if you had a record deal, life was the most amazing thing that you could ever see, right? So I literally, I was at this level where it was so exciting, but then they Googled me and found out that I was gay. And, that was 2000. People were like, what? That's an issue? Back then, it was a major issue. And so they destroyed my, the record deal. It was off the table. Everything was done. My management tried to get me married. They tried to change my music, tried to change everything about me. And I just, all you keep hearing when people are trying to change you is you're not good enough. And I'd already spent a lifetime of being bullied. You know, I was raised in Dallas. It was sports, sports, sports. If you didn't play sports, then, you know, it didn't matter who you were teased and made fun of. And I just wasn't the sports kid. I was, you know, the creative kid. And I always joke around that I had jazz fingers as a kid. You know what I mean? I was creative. Anything creative, I could do it. And so, and then being, you know, a pastor's kid on top of that, literally the spiritual abuse that I went through. And, you know, it was just like, you're never good enough. You're never good enough. You're never good enough. And I always was trying to like show the world that I was good enough. I was great. And so it pushed me for excellence, which I'm appreciative of. But landing it back at where I was in this point in my life, I was 27 years old. They're trying to get me married. My record deal was off the table. My dreams were shattered. Everything felt like it had just crashed and caved in. And I hit at a certain level and I just said, no more. I was done. And I was just like, you know, if I can't live authentically me, then, and be who I need to be in my life, then I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I got to be me, because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to live and sleep with myself at the end of the night. You know what I mean? And so, right then I was like, what can I do instead of this? And, you know, I have a music degree. I mean, music's my life. And so I started coaching singers. I started developing all, you know, it's just this natural thing that I was great at, but also I really wanted to help people rock who they were inside rather than trying to change them and make them different from who they were. And so this whole process that I went into developing these talents, because, you know, I moved when I started this, I mean, I was just teaching voice, and then they were like, what's next? And I was like, well, I write music, so let's write songs. Then I started going into the studio and producing them. And I was like, what do you do with this now? Like, you know, even though I had my music career, I didn't really know the music business in LA, and I didn't know anybody other than who I'd kind of met. And so that is my why of why I got to where I am, and why I'm so passionate about helping people truly, authentically dive into who they are 100%, so that, because the answers are already inside you. You know, it's like, I literally have so many people who are really mediocre, if you know, to say it kindly, or to, you know, people are like, mediocre, I don't want to be mediocre. Hey, everybody wants to be Christina Aguilera, but it is quite all right to be Britney Spears. Yeah. You know, Britney Spears wasn't the greatest singer. That's not the point. She gave the world with who she is. She showed up authentically who she was, what she had to offer, and she has made greater global impact. She has more accolades. She is worth more money. She can put out a hit right now. And even I've got a signed autograph of her sitting right here on my desk, and it's not because I'm a super fan of hers. It's because it reminds me of what ordinary talent can do in the world, and the impact that it can have. If it is, and it's always on my 3 principles, because truly at the end of the day, 80%, 20% is talent, 80%. The other 80% is how you develop that talent to shine. The other thing is the confidence you have when you utilize that talent. And then the third thing is how you brand that talent to outshine everyone else. Those are my 3 principles, man. And I've built my entire career. I mean, I had kids that, you know, everybody's like, I don't know what to do with this kid. I don't know what to do. They're, you know, they were the little chunky kid, or they, you know, freckly face with braces and big ears. I'm like, I want that kid. I want to make that kid shine who they already are. And those kids are doing incredible things. You know what I mean? It's because they're able to grab onto who they were and show up authentically and just like powerfully into a space. And they're the ones who book it every single time.
I think too, when you're comfortable with the skin you're in, oh man, like I don't know, you just grow at such an alarming rate, because you know, at the end of the day, like you said, you know, you can look yourself in the mirror and know, hey, I did what I was supposed to do within my belief system, within my core values, and I didn't stray from that. you
Yeah,
know?
100%, man. It's powerful. And there is
Yes.
nothing sexier than confidence.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if you're walk confidently and because you know what your superpowers are, and this is my my premise is helping people find what their true superpowers are. And it's
Mm,
not a skill set. It's not because you can throw a basketball every single time and hit a 3-pointer. Those are skill sets. Your superpowers are what you are innately born with. It's what God gave you in your life to be powerful. And that was the thing, is that I didn't know the music industry, but I knew what God had given me, and that was a personality and charm, and to be able to go and actually, I love people so much, so I'd
yeah.
connect with people and I show those people love, and at the end of the day, they turn around and help me every single time. And that wasn't my goal to like have them help me. It was just what happened because I showed up powerfully with who I was, even though I was completely ignorant on so many facets of the business, you
Yeah.
know. So it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a lawyer, if you want to play sports, if you want to be a professional, if you want to be an entrepreneur, these are all the same things. Every single one of it feeds straight into your life, and learning how to show up powerfully in the world is one of the most powerful things, and to be sold out, unshakable confidence.
Yeah. And that whole process that you explained, it teaches you transferable skills. And
Yeah,
just like you said, whatever you're doing, be it career, personal, family, whatever it is, if you show up and do those things, oh man, you're gonna continue to grow and be the best
yeah,
version of yourself.
100%. That's
Yeah,
exciting. That
it
is
is.
exciting stuff.
No doubt about it. Well, talk to us a little bit about your career, some of the things that, artists that, highlights of what you've been able to do.
Well, I have a lot of NDAs where
Right.
you can't tell
Hmm.
who you work with, but so a lot of people that well, to kind of feed into something that's so important to me about is being authentically you
Yeah.
and telling your story. And one of the parts of being having unshakable confidence is being able to, number one, there's three aspects. One is being able to know your superpowers. The second one is to understand your flaws and still be flawsome. And number three is how you show up authentically you, which is what personal branding is. I mean, everybody that knows what personal branding is. But it's really incredible because one of my favorite things in working with artists is for them to being able to tell their story, because we all know how important your story is. And so I don't know if you watch American Idol, but last season Harper Grace was one of my girls, and she performed the final night. But I started working with her when she was 11 years old. And Harper, when she came to me, she had just sang the national anthem in front of like 80,000 screaming soccer fans, and it destroyed it. And if you look up the world's worst national anthem singer, it's going to pop up Harper Gruzins, right? And she's a phenomenal little talent, but just nobody prepped her for what she was going to experience. And it took her 3.5 minutes to sing a 90-second song because of the delay in the stadium, and she couldn't find her pitch because all the players were playing kazoos and everything. So she was devastated and destroyed. And I said, listen, what we're going to do first, number one, is we're going to create your intentions. And if you see behind me, this is my intention wall, man. I write out my clear intentions of what I want in my life. And so she wrote out her intentions, and she made a poster board. And then the second thing, I was like, we're going to have to own what happened to you. What you went through, you're going to have to own it, and this is going to be your story, because otherwise it's always going to chase you down and
Yeah.
embarrass you. It's going to be a point of shame rather than a point of victory. And so and I mean, that was a hard thing for her to do, to really go, oh my God, I have this story, to have to tell it. And she walked on American Idol to audition, and she brought on her intention board, and it said, audition for American Idol and hopefully win. And that YouTube video, and then the second thing that as soon as they showed that part of her, what do you think the second thing they showed? That world's worst national anthem.
Hmm.
That's what they showed. And then they showed her actually sing. And people were like, what? You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
was the number one watched video that season. And so they brought her back the final night to perform with the top three, because of her, of how popular she was with her story, because it actually meant something. So when you can own your flaws, you can own the insecurities, and that you can show up and be able to tell that to the world, and hold your chest up high and say, yeah, this is what I went through, man, it completely not only empowers you, but it makes people fall in love with you because of the vulnerability.
Without a doubt.
So, and then the second that, like, I just had Michaela Phillips. She was on last season of America's Got Talent. She was a Golden Buzzard winner. Heidi Klum picked her, and she went to the semifinals. And after she competed, I went to her and said, I just want you to know, be prepared. You're not going to go through, even though you were the best singer to me up there. And I'm real. I mean, I don't play around. I mean, this girl's phenomenally talented, and personality and everything, but they made her backstory so average that she couldn't compete with this sexy looking doctor who, worked with all of these foster kids.
Yeah.
You couldn't compete with the little girl whose parents moved from Mexico or from, somewhere, I think South America. I'm not sure exactly where she was from. I think Mexico, but migrated here and gave up everything so that little girl could do her music. They made you the most average girl that has no problems. Your parents, your dad's a fireman, your mom's a teacher. And so you just have this little life it seems so perfect. Said, you're not going to make it. And she didn't. And it was based off of her story. So, one of those big things is key components is you've got to be able to tell your story and open up and be vulnerable and real and honest about it all, because that's what gives you confidence. Because people are like, I don't want to tell my story. I don't want to talk about these things. No, those are the keys to your unshakable confidence.
Totally agree. Well, let's hit on your rock star movement.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
So this is called Unleash Your RockStar. And it's really funny. You can see behind me that little silver hand that weighs about 15 pounds. But I created a show for younger people called oh my God, it's been since 2011 when I created that thing. What is that called? Oh, Youth Rock Awards. That's what it was called. Youth Rock Awards. And so the whole thing to me is about what a rock star to me is somebody who shows up authentically and real and has unshakable confidence in themselves. And even when they do have flaws and character issues and things that are going wrong, when you own it all and show up, that makes you very powerful, right? And so my book is called Unleash Your RockStar. It's coming out the end of January. And I will, you guys can go to unleashyourrockstar.com and sign up. And I'm going to be giving out like free copies of that in the beginning. And so people need to jump on that. But more importantly, I want to see people unleash their full potential. And even if it is for a selfish reason a little bit, because when you are stepping into your greatness, Chip, if you're not stepping into your full greatness, you're not only doing yourself a disservice, but you are also robbing every single one of us of the blessings in our life. If you're not walking in purpose, you're not walking in your truth, how can you truly affect the people on a vibrational level that is going to bring up the impact and vibration of this planet? So I want this to be a movement where people are boldly stepping out into their callings in their life and the things that they know that they are supposed to do. And even if you're not real sure that you're stepping out and showing up 100% every single day. And so this movement, I want people, and here's the other thing is that I believe, and I know that you're big about success.
Yes.
What is success, right?
Yes, sir.
Success to me is not money. That's the least of your concerns. It's not the least of your concerns, but it's got to be my things. I have 4 pillars under that, and it's your mind, body, soul, and finances. Usually everybody stops at mind, body, and soul. But if your finances aren't where they need to be, then your health and mindset can't be exactly where it needs to be because you're stressed, you have anxiety, you got to pay bills. So for me, success is when you can have your mind, which is your mindset, is strong, that your spiritual walk is strong, whatever that is for you, that there's a spiritual level to you, that you are being able to be happy, that you're able to have joy in your life and to have a life of gratitude, and being able to and have your mind, body, soul. Oh, your body being your physicality, your physical being, and then your finances. It's all got to come together in order for you to be successful.
I love it, man. One thing, just as we talk, there's some things that you've been hitting on, and let me just say this: I think you have a pretty neat OS, pretty neat operating system. In our technology, our phones, our
Yeah.
devices, we all have operating systems, right?
Yep.
And I think in our life, it's important to break things down, to have systems, to have, like pretty much every question we talked about and hit on, you have a step-by-step process, order of how you do things.
Yeah.
I think the more that we can do that in our life, it allows us to be efficient, but then it also
Yes.
allows us to maximize our potential to help us be the best
Yes.
version of ourselves.
100%. I'm
Yeah.
so that's awesome that you actually saw that. But I've been working with we start kids out at 6 years old.
So you have to
You
have
know what I
that.
mean? And you've got to have systems, and it's not even for that kid, it's for the parents.
Yes.
Because I'm training the parents on how to raise these kids.
Hmm.
And we have all the way up to 30-year-olds or whatever, but if you've got to have easy, quick systems. And for me, you don't have to take years and years and years. I'm all for people going to therapy, but if you have a system in place, you can hit efficiency, just like you said, and at a much quicker pace, get to where you need to go. It's not something that needs to take you years and years and years and years and years to accomplish. Now,
Right.
is it going to take you years, maybe to, because you have a certain goal? Yeah, it's going to take you a long
Right.
time. I mean, I've been working on this new chapter of my life. I'm still in music, but I am stepping out to be, for millennials and Gen Z, a major movement for these guys. And it's taken
Yeah.
me 3.5 years to develop and launch it, to feel confident to launch this thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And so it takes time to launch those things, but I still knew exactly who I was. And, those are the components to, it just doesn't need to take long time to gain confidence and to be able to go after your things that you truly want in your life.
Indeed. I think I don't know, it's so key to have those systems, and it makes lots of sense. I think just like you said, I think organically what it does too is it helps eliminate the distractions.
Man, yes.
Like when you're
Woo.
focused in on, hey, you can give me an amen, your church,
Amen, brother.
amen, brother.
Yes, 100%.
you know, uh, I think, when you're focused in on the simple steps and how you're operating, just organically, you quiet the noise, and just like putting on the Beats headphones, the noise cancellation headphones, eliminate the noise. You're focused in, and you hear the music. You know, you hear the
Hmm.
music, which is, man, it's good music when you can really focus in and do those things, and it makes your life great. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And
yes.
I'm all about being efficient and our learning. It's like we go to school for 8 hours a day. These kids go to school for 8 hours a day. And it's like, if you're homeschooled or if you're on set, you go to school for 3 hours
Hmm.
and you get everything you need in that 3 hours. It used to be like at church. You think about it. How long did that pastor preach? It'd be like an hour and 30 minutes in your stomach. Everybody's stomach is like, raw, raw. You're so hungry. You could have done that in 25 minutes and it could have
Yeah,
been just as powerful and impactful. So like in the book, I intentionally have made the book a short read,
yeah,
because who has time to read? I don't have time to read. You know what I mean? I just don't have the time to sit, and
right.
I'm not a fast reader, so I get distracted easily. For me, it's about the workbook that comes along with the book. So you to do the action. I'm going to tell you, talk about it, tell you a story, and let's go into the action so that you can actually have change.
That's it. That's it. Well, before we get off, I'd like for you to, tell the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love with your Rockstar movement.
Yes. So unleashyourrockstar.com, you can go to that. And I've got also for your audience, Chip, is an assessment how to tap into your superpowers, how to work and know what your superpowers are. Sorry if you hear my dogs coming in, but my dog's starting to bark over there. But that is so powerful, and it's something that's super easy for them to do. But they can go on, and it's a free assessment and a little worksheet that they can do to really find out what their superpowers are, because it's amazing how many people don't know what their true gifts and talents and abilities are. Not talking again about being a computer programmer, or being an instrumentalist, or being a doctor. Those are skill sets that you learned. I'm talking about innate things that make everything about what else you're doing. It heightens it if you can walk into that. So it's a free thing for them, so they can go to unleashyourrockstar.com, Instagram, Unleash Your Rockstar, social media is Unleash Your Rockstar. But also for me, Jonathan George, I'm on everything personally. The website's jonathangeorge.com. And hey, if your listeners, if anybody is looking for speakers, I'm putting that, walking into this full force, 100%, giving every aspect of myself into this. So if you are looking for speakers for an event, man, love to serve your people. Just going to put that out there. So.
Well, there it is. Again, I want to say thank you. You guys go out and show him some love. Again, if you're looking for speakers, he'd be an amazing man to speak, to come out and, but show him some love and check out the assessment and the worksheet. But again, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles.
I thank you, Chip, so much. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed.
All right. We'll see you next. Thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.